Next up, I'm going to show you event groups in Localist. So we have another video that outlines featured sections, which is this top section here, and it allows you to define different areas for featured events. Very similar to that is event groups. So event groups allow you to define different lists of events that appear below the featured sections. And these can be defined in several different ways. You could, for example, highlight all the upcoming popular events. You could limit it to only show the upcoming popular music events, the upcoming food events, or you could just have everything else and have it exclude music and food. So I'll show you how to create these. In admin, you just mouse over content and click event groups, and that will take you to this page here. So we can see we have music and food defined. If I click on any of these event groups, it will take me to the event group administration. So similar to featured sections, the title and the button label are the left side of the group and the right side link accordingly. So left side is typically, you could have something like the title say upcoming popular music events, and then the button label just says music, something easy to click on. For the sorting of events, by default, it sorts by popularity. This is the trending algorithm that Localist uses to determine what the most interesting upcoming events are. If you just wanted to override that and show a chronological list of events, you can choose by date. For number of events, you can have it only show a certain number. So if you wanted to, if you have a very strict design of your website vertically, you can always have it limit to 5 events, so it won't go beyond that. Or for example, if one event list has 15 total and another one only has 7 events or 6 events, you can make sure that every group has the same amount in the list by lowering that number. And as we can see here for music, we have it including the event type music concert. So that means this event group, this list on the homepage, is only going to show events that have an event type of music concert. So just jumping back to the event group admin here, let's go into food just to see how that differs from the music custom field. And you may have noticed there's a waterfall checkbox that is checked here. I'm going to touch on that at the very end. So you'll see here for food, again, sorted by popularity, event type, food and drink. So it's only going to be showing events that have that event type assigned. So you'll also notice this excluded dropdown. So when would you use this? Well, let's say we have the music event group and the food event group, but we want to have a third event group that kind of encompasses everything else. Well, you can create a new event group literally called everything else and have it exclude music and exclude food. And this will in turn show all events except for music and food. So we have the first 2 types covered with these lists, and then the third event group can cover everything else. So as I mentioned, the waterfall checkbox, what this does is it actually dynamically creates a third event group. And this is a bit tricky to explain, so bear with me. When you first load the page, you'll see we're presented with upcoming events. Notice it doesn't say music or food. That's because we have waterfall checked on both of these event groups. So what this is actually doing is Localist is saying, okay, I have these event groups defined, but let's say, for example, the food group only has 1 event. So it's not something that you want to present to somebody when they're first coming to the page. They might only think 1 event is coming up. So let's say, for example, music only has one event coming up. You wouldn't want the person coming to the homepage to say, oh, there's only one event here, there's not a lot of great content, when it's actually absolutely there. It's just hidden under different event types. That's what this waterfall checkbox is designed for. It actually takes all the event groups you've defined and it combines them into a single waterfall group. So if you think about, to stretch the waterfall metaphor here, the music and food event groups, think of those as two streams, and they're kind of converging at the top of this waterfall. So they're two different streams of event content. Well, the waterfall combines them both to actually display this first list that appears when you load the page. So you'll actually see both music and food events combined here in this list. But then you can obviously split those out as a user into the individual event groups. For any of these administrative pieces, if you'd like more information, please go to docs.localist.com, especially for event groups. There's a great rundown of how the waterfall functionality works on the docs site. So that's event groups in Localist.